I hear you saying a lot about your faith and about being a Christian. Maybe you could tell all of these people here how you became a Christian. How did you find your faith?
Yeah. Well, I know everybody, it's tough because there's a lot of different, when you hear the word Christian, like for some people that means, somebody, I don't know, there's tons of different denominations, there's tons of different, beliefs within the main Christian umbrella, but for me, being a Christian comes down to what we believe about the resurrection of Jesus. If we believe he really did raise from the dead, then that says so much about the rest of the way we could possibly live our lives. And of course, if he rose from the dead, he's not simply a human being. So everything within my personal testimony comes down to that one instance in history. And I was really turned off towards the idea of Christianity because all the Christians I knew, for lack of a better term, I thought were idiots, I guess. And I ended up, getting in a little bit of trouble when I was younger, and I got sent to a Christian high school. And in that process of going to a Christian high school, I really resented being there, and I didn't want to hear what anybody had to say. But hearing more and more of the evidence surrounding just the history of Jesus' life, the people that died on his behalf, and especially surrounding the resurrection, I couldn't deny that something really happened, 2,000 years ago. And so the more I researched the topic, the more I just came to the conclusion that we all have faith. I mean, whether or not, if somebody's not a Christian, it takes a lot of faith to believe anything. It takes a lot of faith to say that matter has existed for eternity past and matter will always exist for eternity in the future. That takes a lot of faith, in my opinion. And to say there's no God, it's just this vast universe existed on its own. And it takes a lot of faith to believe that Jesus rose from the dead. And so the simple answer, I know there's a lot of little details in there, but the simple answer is that as I weighed all of my options, I think it's the most reasonable faith, in my personal opinion, to believe that Jesus rose from the dead, and not only because of what history can reveal on that topic, but also because what he's said and the way he's challenged me to live my life is so true. It truly is, I think, the best way to live. And that's the one part where I think, a lot of Christians will disagree is on how they live, but for me, the Jesus I know is somebody who's always been there for the poor, somebody who's always been drawn towards the outcasts. And I think that that Jesus is somebody, regardless of what people believe about war, capital punishment, or all these really controversial Christian topics, that Jesus is the one, that I believe saved me. This may sound typical, but we do need to read the Bible. It's really the only way that we can be certain that we're hearing the voice of God and not just, some emotion or some weird feeling in our stomach or something like that,